Episode 5 of 19. You don't want truth, you want comfort that sounds smart. The ego's favorite camouflage, insight-flavored avoidance. You're not addicted to growth. You're addicted to sounding like you're growing. This episode doesn't coddle, it confronts. You say you want truth, but most people don't. They want permission disguised as insight. They want comfort that wears a lab coat. They want reassurance that flatters their intellect. You binge podcasts. You quote Carl Jung, Ram Dass, and Gabor Mate. You speak in self-aware sound bites. But when the truth shows up, when it contradicts your identity, your narrative, your brand, you flinch. Because you weren't hunting truth. You were building a fortress out of clever-sounding validation. Truth doesn't care if it feels good. It doesn't come with a therapist's voice or a branded color palette. And if you can't stomach truth unless it's phrased gently, you're not self-aware. You're self-coddling. Truth that transforms you will offend you first. And the part that gets offended, that's the part still performing awareness, not embodying it. If you're ready to stop confusing sounding smart with being free, let's go where your curated insight won't protect you. Section 1. Insight addiction versus actual growth. Some people mainline information like it's medicine. But it's not medicine, it's sugar. You're not integrating it, you're performing it. The bookshelf is groaning. Your podcast queue looks like a grad school syllabus. You can, again, drop quotes from Carl Jung, Ram Dass, and Gabor Mate in casual conversation. But here's the problem. Quoting isn't integrating. It's basically karaoke. Real growth? It's quiet. Growth doesn't need a mic. What you've been doing is collecting frameworks like Pokemon cards. You don't battle with them, you just show them off. Look at my rare attachment theory holographic, first edition. In certain circles, there's social capital in sounding evolved. You get praise for your language, nods for your insight, applause for your articulate awareness. And your ego laps it up because it feels like movement. It sounds like progress. It reads like wisdom. But nothing in your life has actually shifted. You're still making the same choices, still circling the same patterns, still negotiating with the same fears. Information is only transformative when it costs you something to use it. Until then, it's just decor for your identity. Section 2. Why most people don't actually want truth. Let's be honest, truth is terrible for business. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't pander. It doesn't keep you comfortable. Truth destabilizes. It takes the scaffolding you've been clinging to, the identity, the narrative, the brand, and rips it apart while you're still standing on it. Most people don't want that. They want change without fracture. They want to keep their favorite illusions intact while rearranging the furniture. It's like saying you want to remodel the house, but refusing to touch the load-bearing walls. And the mindfulness industry? It's very happy to help you. They'll sell you comfort disguised as depth. Soft lighting, breathwork playlists, mantras you can murmur to yourself until the panic subsides. But real truth doesn't work like that. Real truth isn't a narcotic, it's an amputation. It doesn't just explain your cycles, it breaks them, usually in ways that leave you shaking, exposed, and stripped of your favorite excuses. So, if you say you want truth, be ready for the burn, because it will come for everything you've been using to prop yourself up. Section 3. The comfort-flavored lies we tell ourselves. Look, we've all got a stash. Little phrases we keep in our pocket for when truth gets too close. They taste like self-awareness, but really, they're just sugar with a sprinkle of insight. For example, I'm working on it. No, you're orbiting it, circling the problem like it's a campfire story you love to retell. Progress isn't thinking about change until you're tired. This is just part of my journey. Translation: I'm standing still, but I've romanticized it enough to call it movement. If your journey looks exactly the same for 3 years, you're not on a journey, you're at a rest stop. I know my worth now. Sure, until someone you want approval from doesn't see it, and suddenly you're back to auditioning for the role of enough. I've done the shadow work. Oh, please, you visited it briefly with Instagram open in another tab. Real shadow work leaves claw marks. You don't emerge from it with a perfect caption. Look, these aren't malicious lies. They're survival lies. They keep the illusion of progress alive just enough so we can avoid asking the harder question, which is, if I stopped telling this story about myself, what would I have to face? And if you're already thinking of who else needs to hear this, stop. It's you. Section 4. Real truth doesn't soothe, it slices. Truth doesn't arrive with soft lighting and spa music. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It drops into your life like a steel-toed boot smashing through a glass table. It contradicts your favorite stories, the ones you've been polishing for years, the ones that make you sound wise, the ones that make you the hero in your own narrative. It doesn't just explain your cycles, it ends them, which is why most people keep truth at arm's length. Because ending a cycle means losing the version of yourself who's been living inside of it. Real truth isn't an idea to discuss over coffee. It's a decision you have to live with in the dark. It's saying, no more, and knowing there's no applause coming. Discussion is safe. Decision is not safe. You can have an entire friend group built around discussing your insight. You can quote Rummy until you sound like a walking tea bag. But if your truth never makes you choose, never forces your feet to move, then you're not in truth. You're in theory. If you want truth, you have to be willing for it to wreck you first. Because truth is not interested in making you feel clever. Truth is interested in making you free. Truth doesn't just end your cycles, it burns the maps that you've been using to find your way back to them. Section 5. How to know if you're consuming truth or just dopamine. Here's the test. It's not complicated, it's just brutal. Do you apply what you learn immediately? If you hear something that stings, do you change something in your life today? Or do you just screenshot it for later? Do you just take notes on it and put them in your phone for later? Are you willing to let go of ideas that served you last week? Or do you keep recycling them because they still get you applause? Truth is seasonal. Cling to old harvests and you'll be chewing on rot. Do you seek friction? or avoid it by dressing it in understanding. Some of you don't seek clarity. You seek conflict wrapped in calm language. It is theater. You want the buzz of feeling deep without the sting of actually changing. Does your growth cost you anything? If you're evolving without losing friends, habits, or parts of your self-image, you're not evolving, you're accessorizing. Truth doesn't give dopamine, it gives withdrawal. It shakes you. Truth leaves you pacing your kitchen at 3 a.m. It makes you want to delete your entire feed and live in the woods for a while. If your insight feels cozy, you're still in the lobby. If your truth doesn't make you want to throw up a little before acting on it, it's probably just another hit of intellectual candy. Section 6. Turning toward discomfort as sacred act. Stop treating discomfort like a malfunction. Discomfort is the alarm bell of transformation. Stop sugarcoating language just to keep it palatable. When you delete the truth so it won't upset you, you're not protecting your peace or your sanity, you're protecting your ego. Start following what offends your certainty. That thing that makes you defensive, those ideas that make you defensive, those things you watch that make you get defensive, that's where the gold really is, not the things you already agree with. Learn to sit with truths that leave you without a script. Insight is easy when you know how to respond to it. But when the truth knocks the wind out of you, can you still stay in the room? Build a practice around losing illusions regularly. Shedding isn't an accident, it's a ritual. Choose to dismantle what you've been clinging to before life rips it away for you. Truth isn't a lightning bolt. It's a slow burn, one you have to tend like firewood in winter, feeding it with every old belief you're willing to watch turn to ash. Section 7. In closing, burn the insight fetish. If truth needs to flatter you to reach you, it will never change you. Stop treating insight like a collectible. Stop polishing it for display. Stop needing it to look good before you let it do its work. Burn the bookshelf, not because books are useless, but because you've been hiding behind them. Burn the language, not because words don't matter, but because you've been using them to protect yourself from meaning them. Burn the image of yourself as someone who gets it. It's the heaviest mask you own. It keeps you from actually getting anywhere. If you want to know who you are without the performance, strip the vocabulary. Lose the audience. Stay in the room with nothing but the parts of you that can't be quoted, posted, or branded. Truth isn't a costume. Truth is a nakedness. And once you've felt that, you won't need to sound smart again. You'll just be free.